Hi, this is Tech Tools to Save Time. My name is Donna Netzer, and I'm an MLTI ambassador. So, we are going to be looking at some ways that technology can actually give you time back, which is kind of a crazy concept in teaching. I understand that, but I'm hopeful that the tools that I chose are something that can give you back some of the transactional time that we all know that we have in our classrooms. So I am from the Learning Through Technology team. We have a team of 18 of us who are out in the field talking and working with MLTI schools, providing free professional development, such as the one that you are watching today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch a short video, and we're going to watch actually just about a minute of it. And you can watch it after the fact as well if you would like to. It's embedded in this presentation. But John Spencer speaks to the idea of cognitive load theory. And so giving back time to you is not only something that's good and healthy and right, but it's also something that will make us better teachers, and it will help us be able to work the best that we are able to work. So let's go ahead and watch a short clip of that.
Imagine holding a 10-pound weight above your head. For many people, that's pretty easy. Now, hold that weight for 2 minutes. Still possible, but more challenging. All right, now hold that for 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Over time, even a small amount of weight grows unbearable. Your muscles need rest and recovery. Similarly, when we're learning, our brains can only handle so much information before needing a break. Dr. John Speller coined the term cognitive load to describe the amount of information working memory can hold in the moment. This is why you find yourself tuning out a lecture about an hour into it. It's also why you tend to forget most of the information when you cram for a test, why you struggle with certain confusing diagrams, and why you might have a hard time with long, complicated verbal directions. Cognitive load theory builds on Atkinson and Shiffrin's model of information processing theory.
Okay, so I'm going to stop here. Again, you have access to this video, but as we all know in education, there are a lot of tasks, and a lot of them are just little tasks, but they need to get done. And it just becomes this overload of information and things that we need to take care of and deal with on a daily basis. So we're going to be covering some resources today that will help with the time it takes to get good quality work done. And so you have less cognitive load, but you also have more time. So Canva is one of them. If they're not familiar with Canva, we're going to be looking at that resource. It is a very, very dynamic resource that I recommend to all teachers. Padlet is one that can help organize and keep track of things very easily. And then we're going to be looking at the AI guidance from the Department of Ed, but also 4 of my favorite AI resources. So the first one is Canva, and I purposely shared my screen in this way so that I could look at different tabs. But I got this description from ChatGPT, which is something that helps save me time. And I looked over it and I really, really liked it. So it's this idea of this visual creation platform for you and your students. And it is free for educators. You need to go in, sign up, and get your email verified, which is what that video embedded in the top is, so that you can get that information. And then you can create a class, add your students, and your students get access to that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into Canva. So this is what Canva looks like when you first log in, and I'm verified and I'm logged in and everything. First of all, there's tons of different formats. So notice that you can do videos, you can do social media, so you can make it the actual size you would need for a Facebook post. You can do presentations, which is how I do my presentations. There even are docs. You can look up and you can see all of these different ones, or you can make your custom size. So if there's something you need, let's go ahead and look at the education one. Look at the education templates. So there's tons and tons of resources, and you can even choose what you're looking for in your template. So if you were someone who taught science and you want the life cycle of a frog, you'll see that I have that up there. Life cycle of frog. You are going to get templates of various different resources that are already pre-made and already in Canva. And so this one is a short video because I can tell by the plus and the, or sorry, the play and the pause button. Let's hover over some of this. This is a worksheet. There's some other worksheets. Usually there's presentations and you'll be able, I'm trying to find one. You'll be able to see that it's a presentation because you'll see right here, numbers 1 of 12, 2 of 12, 3 of 12. And if you go into any of these, you can customize. And what you can do is you can change every little bit of this, the colors, the fonts. So there's two aspects to Canva. There is the menu over on the side for the project that you're working on, and you can upload your own things, all that kind of stuff. In the apps, anything that says magic is an AI tool that you can use. There's also, for each thing that you are clicked on, up here, there's a menu of things that you can edit as well. When you are verified too, you can also resize it. So if you need to make it a different size or shape, you can do that. And you can tweak. I'm just going to change some colors so that you see what's changing here. I'm going to take my moon and I'm just going to change parts of it to blue, or a star rather. It was not a moon. You can animate certain things. If you want to share this, you can go to share. You can click and put someone's email in. You can also make it so anyone at your school can see it, anyone with the link, and they can edit, comment, or view. If you need to present this, you can present it. You can create a public view, which is the access I gave to you for my presentation. You can also download, and you would have all the kinds of different options for how you want to download. One of the cool things though, I'm going to go ahead over to my uploads. Well, I'm going to just press upload file rather than try to look for it. I'm going to find a PDF. So PDF is usually a static, it's basically a picture of something. My professor wrote my name wrong on this one, but I'm going to go ahead, and once that uploads, I'm going to put that PDF in here. Embed means that it's a slide with that in it, where if I apply both pages, it's going to add it to the end. And so now, I guess it wasn't my professor, I can change everything in that PDF. So when you find that PDF worksheet or review or something like that, or even if you have something you want to sign or something, a form to fill out, you can put it into Canva and you can automatically change the pieces of the PDF. So that is an advantage of that too. And so Canva just becomes this platform where you can design stuff. I'm going to go back to the main page and I'm just going to start a blank presentation. Because where do I go from here, right? Well, the design one, if I put up here that I want it to be about technology, I have some templates I can work from. Or I can add my own elements. Those are like graphics, although there's some pictures and that kind of stuff too. You can put polls in it. You can generate your own, so that's using the AI. There's lots of different things. So it takes time for you to explore and get used to Canva. Whenever I'm sharing some things, I like to show people that Canva has a lot to offer, but take time to really dive in. They also do have, I'll pull up another website, Canva Design School. So they have their own tutorials and they're not very long. There's little mini courses if you want to take it with badges and that kind of stuff, but you can learn about how to use Canva better and better. And YouTube has tons of these resources as well. But Canva is really a great way, especially in those circumstances like I did with the life cycle of a frog, where you can pull some resources check to make sure it has what you were looking for, but it just saved you a lot of time and gave you a professional looking product. So Canva is my first tech tool. You can pause at this point and play around with Canva if that makes sense to you, or you can wait till the end of the presentation asynchronously. That's the beauty of things, is that you can do that as you need to. My second tool, and I'm going to get rid of these Canva ones. My second tool is Padlet. So Padlet, again, this description was from ChatGPT, but I liked it, is really, I like to describe it as an online bulletin board. So if you think about collecting things, you could make like bookmarks on your Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge or whatever browser you're using. You could download some things onto your computer. You could put things into Google Drive, but they all kind of have limits as to what type of resources they can collect. Padlet does not, for the most part, or I haven't found anything that I thought was just way too much. So you'll have to sign up for an account. You do get 3 active Padlets for free, but you can archive so that you can still make some more. I pay for my Padlet because I like to use it so much. If you go to make, there are 2 types of Padlets. There are boards. So Padlet boards would be something where I put a bunch of resources together and I can organize them in various ways. And I'll show you some of the Padlets I've created so you can see that. You can have them organized horizontally or vertically by time in a certain place. So there's a map one. Canvas, you can overlap them however you want to. You can put them into categories. But that would be a board where you just hold stuff. And people, you can set it up for students to interact or for students to be able to post or not post. And then the blank sandbox is their answer to Jamboard going away. It is an online whiteboard that's collaborative. So let's go back. Let's look first at a sandbox. So in this sandbox, this was for a grad class that I was taking, or am taking, I should say. I have 1 slide right now. I could add more. And I put sticky notes. And those sticky notes have information. But if you look over here, here's the sticky note. You can write, you can draw, you can do all that. But there are all of these different options. So there, you can put in a link, you can put in an upload, you can attach another Padlet, you could put in Google Drives here if you want. You could put in all kinds of information, and there's not that limit of what type that you can put in. You can have video or audio recording. There's all kinds of options, and you can audio and video record right on here too. So it also is the answer to Flip going away if you were familiar with the technology Flip. Let's go back and look at some of the boards I had. So here's one. I'm a group leader for an international tour, and we did an online auction. And so I was able to create this horizontal organization of what we were auctioning off. And I could make multiple sections for that. So that's one way you can organize it. Let's see. This one is a vertical organization. These are called shelves. And as long as I'm over that column, I can scroll up and down. Again, some of them are pictures, some are websites, some are other Padlets. You can scroll left and right as well because I've got more shelf categories. Let's see. I've got, I believe this one. Yeah, this is just as I post, it posts. I don't have them organized in a certain way or anything. I just needed a collection of them. There is one. Here's a series that I did, so I'm doing it in order. Yeah, there's just all kinds of different ways to go about setting up what you're looking for. This was an interesting one. My professor for the class I'm taking, I won't leave that up long, made this the actual place that we have a discussion board. So that was definitely a scenario you could use. Here's the one I was looking for. So I was able to, I put the questions I had in a prompt that we had for my grad class. Then I was able to organize them and just overlap them and color code them and arrange them how it made sense to me before I could process and go to the next scenario. So there's all kinds of different ways. One thing I want to share with you is this Padlet 101 course. So if you just Google for it, you'll find it, or it's up like in your settings once you get there. They created a course that are little tidbits of information of how to use Padlet. Maybe took me a half an hour, and then you get a certificate at the end. Another resource is right at the top. It says learn. And they have, look at some of these, are like 19 seconds, 10 seconds, 13 seconds, things that will help you learn what's possible with Padlet. So that's part of it too, is like taking a little bit of time at the beginning to learn some of these tools. But then with that said, getting your time back in the fact that you are able to use these tools and access it. Imagine having your bookmarks all in one place that you could see what they are and click on them easily, or maybe have them for your students. And so it cuts down on that transactional time once you get things set up. So Padlet is one of my secret tools. I wouldn't say it's very secret, I tell everybody, but for saving time. Again, if you need to pause, play around with Padlet before you move on, absolutely fine. Now we're going to switch to AI. And the first thing I'm going to start with is the AI guidance that the DOE just released. And this is a living document. It's on Genially, which is an interactive presentation. And I'm just going to jump into it so that you guys can see. So I had jumped in it earlier, so I'm going to go back to the home page. Everything here is clickable. You can see what's clickable by clicking that. You can jump into the AI guidance at the level that you are and what you need from the AI tools that we have. So you could have an overview right here. You can learn, you can see what AI is. It can be explained to you if you're like very new to this, and that is an absolutely fine place to be. You can jump in a little bit further if you want to know about leadership of school and how to use it, or how to use it in your classroom. We also have tons of tools. Look, a directory of AI tools. And this is growing. This is something that our team and our AI specialist, Nicole Davis, is constantly working on and adapting. She didn't want it to be something that was just a document that would really be outdated pretty soon after it was released. So it is an ever-growing resource, and you can click all around it. And Martin is the little helper here that can help you navigate and get through it. And you can hear explanations if you need to and whatnot. So that AI guidance is a stellar option for you to get started with some AI. But I want to share with you my 4 favorite AI tools right now. The first one is Goblin Tools. So Goblin Tools is a tool that will break down anything for you. Now, my initial thought with this is that, wow, when we say a modification is to break down larger tasks into smaller ones, like on a 504 and IEP, this is the tool for that job. So if I want to have kids create a presentation on the fall of the Roman Empire, you can tell I'm older by that example, just because that was like the common thing that we always talked about. It felt like, so there's my task, and now I want to break it down. Now it's going to tell me things to do, and if one of them, like outline the major sections, well, that's overwhelming all on its own. I can break that one down. I can delete certain steps, and I'm just choosing these at random to get rid of if they're not enough, not what I'm looking for. You can also grab and rearrange them. So you can instantly break down, you can choose they call it the spiciness level. Do you want lots or a little explanation or breakdown? And you can change that, and it will change what you're breaking down. So that's one you might do for like a student. Let's go ahead, I'm going to remove this one. As a teacher, I need to create a lesson plan on dividing fractions. Let's say. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And now I've, again, broken it down, and I can check out different things. what about for special needs? I find this a great, useful life skills tool. So I have a 19-year-old son who has autism, and we are teaching him to wash dishes. And I can break down the tasks of washing dishes even further. So if gathered dirty dishes from around the kitchen does not make enough sense, I can even expand that one. Okay. And it can become a checklist. And again, you can edit things. That is my favorite part of Goblin Tools, but look over here. There's some more. Formalizer, you can make it so it sounds the way you want. If you're writing something, it can actually judge and tell you the tone that you're kind of setting and how you're writing things. This one is like a mini tutor. So something that can help you explain something. And maybe you have your students go here or you go here yourself to get kind of a little bit more information about it. You can weigh pros and cons of something and get advice. Now, again, this is AI, so take that with a grain of salt. Don't count it as your best friend. That's what we tell our kids, right? But if we're going to have kids using it, we need to use those types of guide rails. Here, the estimator is a little interesting because how do they know? But it can give you kind of some guidelines. You can dump your ideas and it will organize it for you. And here, this is just a fun one where you can write down different foods and you can get some recipes. So it's just a all-around tool that can help you break apart and organize and get some more information. So Goblin Tools, one of my favorites. Let's do the next one, Diffit. Differentiation. We can get things differentiated for us. So we can put stuff in here like World War II. We could put in a standard. We could put in, you can upload some things. You can upload a YouTube or a PDF or talk about anything. But I'm just going to go ahead and press enter. I want some information on World War II, and it's going to do some tweaking for me. And then we get to tweak a little bit. Again, it's going to have you sign in, but it's a free account. It does translate into many languages. So if you have learners that need that. Right now it's set for 6th grade. I can change that as long as I'm logged in. So I want it to be 11th grade. Regenerate that. You'll notice as you go through, once this loads, you'll be able to see like vocabulary for that, a good summary of things. You'll be able to look at, there we go, keywords. There's some pictures that you can use when talking about World War II. And it's pulling all of this together in one place for you from the internet. You're going to have to make sure it's accurate and that you're using, that it's the way that you want it to be. But with that said, it's gathering the information for you. So it's really good at compiling and processing information and finding it really fast, and then you can tweak it. So there's that transactional time. So here are some examples. There's some open-ended. We want to get some student activities. It says math teachers because I'm a math teacher, but there's some student things that you could do. Everything's clickable. Everything's got loads of information. Diffit, if you can have too much of a good thing, I guess it has a lot. But you can customize things too. You can make things shorter or longer, depending on what you would like for your students. You can show your sources. You can edit certain things. So let's go back to these student activities. Let's see, these are a discussion workbook, Google Forms quiz, so you can make things, basic slides. So there's just all kinds of stuff, all related to what you were looking at, all ready for you. And there's just loads and loads and loads of it. So Diffit is another really good way to gather and get professional looking things quickly on topics of your choice. Okay, Magic School. I guess I didn't go to that one. So you're gonna have to log in for Magic School or sign up. They have a premium account, but I've never needed a premium account whatsoever. The free one works just fine for me. And there's a couple of really powerful things here. So if I scroll down, these are all templates, as in, instead of just going to AI and asking it to do something, it will prompt you for the information it needs. So let's just do this one, 504 plan generator. I'm just going to make up a student, 8th grade, and it says here, description of student activity, academic performance, behaviors, needs, and strengths. So you would describe your student. This student is hyperactive and loves to run out of the classroom. We're going to make this intense. I'm just going to put a generic short one for right now for the sake of this. But now it's going to give me suggestions. And again, it's curating this from other sources on the internet. It's gathering information you would have to spend quite a bit of time looking for. And then you tweak it and you adapt it. It is not a one and done. This does not do it for you and you should copy and paste. This should be something that is your draft. And so we think of AI as a draft producer and a think partner, getting the information for us. So those tools are an excellent resource for that. And there's just tons of them. When you press the start, it becomes a favorite. So it's right where you want it. I like this one, multiple explanations. I can't think of another way to explain this to you. So how else could I explain this to you? There is a section where you could launch some things to students, and there are some of these tools that would be appropriate for students as well. There's also Raina, who is a chatbot who is trained on the best practices as a teacher. And so you can communicate, whether you have an idea or you don't have an idea, you could speak to her. And so you can see my history here of different things that I've asked. So let's say I need an exit ticket for science grade 10 on photosynthesis. And so she's going to get that information. And you can even say to her, can I have that in a chart? You can converse back and forth with her with any chatbot. Every chatbot's different, but you can converse back and forth and you can get more along the lines as what you need. And when you're ready, you can copy and edit and that kind of thing. There are some other things over here. They constantly are coming out with new things. This Magic School was designed by a former educator and admin who was like, what do I wish I would have had? They're very receptive to feedback and they try to be very upfront with, you know, getting the latest and greatest things. So make sure you take time to look down here and see what some of these are, because there's some really stellar like math story word problems. I like that one. Real world connections, making what you're working on actually be applicable to them. Make it relevant. This is a fun one where it's like, I really need these problems to be about baseball because the student won't do anything if it's not related to baseball or X, Y, or Z. So Magic School is another great resource for you to be looking at. If you look at the Magic student side of things, a teacher has to give them access, but you have lots of different options here. You can get quizzed on a topic. That's kind of cool. Again, every time I go, I see something different. So it's a very dynamic website. And then the last one I have here is Brisk. Brisk is actually a Google Chrome extension. And so if you go to any website, and I'm just going to search up something, linear equations, and I'm going to find a video. I'm just going to choose a video. Now, I would have to actually spend the time to look at the video and find the video I was looking for. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to press the Brisk button if it's not already down here, because it's on every page. This is different. It's not a website that you go to. It is a extension that's put right on your browser. And now I can click it. And there we go. I can create something directly from that website. So I'm going to create, and I'm going to say, I want some depth of knowledge questions, and I want it to be 4th grade. Oh, sorry, it was linear equations. Let's not. 10th grade. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brisk it. And it is going to be generating for me now those depth of knowledge questions. It's going to take it a second, but it's curating from the internet and all of different sources and whatnot, and using the video that I just gave it to be able to make relevant questions here. So let's go ahead and watch it do its thing, first of all, and then it's going to give me some options. I know I did this earlier with a quiz on World War II, and it actually was like, would you like the answer guide? Yes. So I can make it shorter, longer. I can translate it. So depending on what you have created through Brisk, it will give you options. Again, this is just your draft maker. So you want to go through and make sure it's what you want. But at the same time, your draft was made in a couple of minutes. So there's that transactional time that goes back into your repository, and you can spend the time teaching and preparing good quality work because it's all the resources have been gathered. And so those are just kind of my 4 tricks for AI, and again, then Canva and Padlet that I encourage you to dive into and take some time to learn about. When I gave this in person, there was time to explore. So whether you are doing it now or you want to do it after, just let me get the last couple of things in here before you turn this off. First of all, if you could give feedback on this presentation, that helps us design future presentations and to know what people are really looking for. So if you could take time to do that feedback, that would be great. We do, as a Learning Through Technology team, offer a whole bunch of professional development, and you can click on that link and it will take you to a menu. It is not all we offer, but it is probably some of our top offerings that we have requested. If it's in the realm of technology integration or digital citizenship or those types of things, we're going to be able to cover them. And again, this is a free resource that's provided to schools that are MLTI schools. If you want contact hours for this, you can go ahead and click that link and it will lead you to get some contact hours. And then again, make sure that you fill out that feedback and don't hesitate to reach out if you want support here. And one thing I didn't mention at the beginning, but maybe you figured it out, is that I made this a cooking theme because we always look for things like the semi-homemade and the tips and the tricks and the things that can help us so that we can make good, yummy things, but it doesn't take the whole time that most people would think. And so we want to do that in our classrooms as well. We want to have our best selves shown, and we want to make sure that we're using the tools that we have access to. So thank you for spending this time, and please make sure you explore those resources and reach out if you have questions. Thank you.